Hey everybody, I am so excited to be here with you. I'm Denise Krebs, your DNA detective, and I am here today to share with you a little bit about how to help your children be their healthiest and happiest possible. If you'll give me just a second, I'm going to share my screen and have a little PowerPoint to put together for you. All right. Let me get that PowerPoint up and we will get started. Hello everyone, my name is Denise Krebs and I am your DNA detective. I'm a certified health coach and certified essential oils coach. And so today I am super excited to talk with you for just a few minutes about the Designers Healthy Kids Workshop. So wanted to just give you a little bit of information about me. So I am a certified health coach and certified essential oils coach. And my mission is to help you live your most optimal and healthiest life, whatever that means to you. Through my and my family's journey to our optimal wellness, I have continued to dig deeper and deeper through what my first boss used to call my why factor. And that why factor means that I continue to ask the question of, but why, but why, but why, but why? And especially around kids' health, it breaks my heart to see so many kids struggle with so many health issues today. And whether those issues are skin related or gut related or worse, it breaks my heart. And the more that I have learned about wellness, the more that I know that if we take care of ourselves, then our cells will take care of us. And as a family, we have battled through a host of health challenges. Some have gotten resolved, some are no longer around, and some of them we're still working on and they're getting out. You see, our health issues did not come up overnight, and they're not going to likely go away overnight. Please hear me. I'm not talking about a broken bone or a scraped knee that was the result of an accident or a fall or living life. Those are great memories I tell the kids when they come in with their bumps and bruises and scrapes. I'm like, cool, what memory do you have to show for that? You'll remember that for a long time. I'm talking about chronic issues. So whether that is behavior problems or constant daily headaches, which is what my husband and I had, frequent recurring migraines, gut issues, aches and pains throughout the entire body. Maybe it's brain fog, memory problems, lack of focus. Our issues came as a result of various toxins that have gotten into our body, like mold and heavy metals, chemical toxicity, and they were the reason for many of our health challenges, not to lessen the fact that what I've learned about the choices we make also impact our wellness journey or lack thereof, our health issues. Many years ago, I remember hearing this quote by Maya Angelou, and she says, the quote goes, do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. And so that has become part of my focus and my mantra is to help people know better so that they can do better. Now, let me stop right here and give you a quick, my disclaimer legally. So I'm a health coach. I'm not a medical practitioner, and nor do I play one on TV. So that means that I do not diagnose, treat, prevent, heal, or cure any person or any disease. That is the job of your body and God to do that. And I can tell you that when we take care of our cells will take care of us. And oftentimes we will see those health challenges not be challenges anymore. I love what I do because since I'm not a medical professional, I call myself an investigator. And that is where the DNA detective came from, because the more that I began to dig down into the why factor, why is someone dealing with the struggles that they're dealing with, I ended up at the cellular level and the genetic level. And so I have the distinct privilege of simply looking at all those puzzle pieces and trying to figure out how the dots connect so that we can put together that beautiful painting that God has painted of your life. Sometimes the puzzle pieces may not even be on the table, which is another really cool thing that I get to do, of finding those puzzle pieces and go, wait a minute, there's a hole here. Let's find the spot for that. Let's find that piece of the puzzle. And then the whole picture comes into clarity. So I do that through education, accountability, and support. Those are the foundations that I use for success in my clients' lives and their wellness journey. So I get to offer them hope through empowerment so that they get to abundance. And I firmly believe the words of John 10:10, that the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I, meaning Jesus, have come so that they may have life and have it abundantly. For years, I misunderstood that verse and thought that that abundant life was referring to the life that we would have in heaven after we died. But the more I studied that, the more I realized that that abundant life, He desires for us here on earth while we are living. And so I get really excited when I see people's health issues kind of go away, because they are able to live a very abundant and vibrant life. Okay, so I'll stop on that for now, and let's get to today's workshop. So today we're going to be talking about the designer's healthy kids. So this is my family. On the left-hand side is the day we got married. So these two beautiful children are not my biological children, but I claim them. That was them when we got married. And then on the right, that was a picture of us last fall when we went pumpkin picking, as has become part of our family tradition at the fall of the year. But these were some of the issues that my family struggled with and that I struggled with. Constant aches and pains. I can't tell you the number of migraine headaches that I had that would just knock me out for the day. Gut issues, focus issues, skin issues, difficulty remembering things, behavior problems. At the end of this talk today, I'm going to introduce you to some of my programs that will support your effort and help you take action for your entire family's optimal wellness journey. Plus, I'll tell you about some specials that are coming up. So today, we are going to focus specifically on nutrition. Now, here's kind of an overview of various things that I do, or why we're having this little chat today. So why personalized wellness? Personalized wellness is where we know that the future is going, because the more we know about the individuals, the more we know that everybody's body is different. And that difference comes not only from past history, but also the genetics, the health of mom and dad, and even grandmother before you were even conceived, and your lifestyle, your choices connected with your history, your family's history, and your genetic makeup mean that you react differently and you have different issues. I don't have time to go in today to the stories of two people living in the same home, clients that I have. One ends up having a lot of health issues and one doesn't. So it's really difficult, and it's because everybody is different. But I can tell you that your designer has a plan, and that plan is uniquely individual to you. The reason that kids' health is so heavy on my heart is because the diseases that kids are dealing with today have skyrocketed, and kids have lost that joy of just being a kid and playing outside and having fun. The stress, the health issues are just, it just breaks my heart. And if you're here watching this, my guess is that you have kids that are struggling with some sort of health issues. So welcome. There is hope. And we're going to start talking about a little of that hope today. You can dramatically impact your family's wellness with just a few simple steps. And I like to call those steps my SOS strategies. And you'll learn more about that later on. So ultimately, my goal in working with folks is to decrease their toxic load and toxic burden on their body, increase their nutrition, their micronutrients, and decrease stress. Those three key factors take lots of different looks, but at the end of the day, those are the three things we focus on. And there's 7 pillars of that wellness journey. We're not going to get into that today either. And then at the end, I'll share with you a little bit about those next steps. So the very first thing that we want to do is, how do we encourage healthy eating with our kids? Because all kids would prefer to have donuts over fruit. So how can we encourage? So this begins to look at my SOS strategy. So my SOS strategy means swaps over stops. If you tell a kid who's been used to eating the sugary donuts and ice cream and sweets, sorry, you can't have that anymore, there is likely to be a revolt on your hands. And I don't want that, because I've had those and I don't want to encourage you to do that, which is one of the reasons that I came up with the SOS strategy. If you are having trouble getting, let me move this out of the way here. Put that down here. I'm going to put my little head down in the corner. Hopefully it'll be out of the way. If you are having trouble getting your kids to eat healthy meals and snacks, then why not let them participate in that prep of the meals and the cooking process? Kids are very hands-on, and when they get to participate in that process, in understanding what goes into preparing the meals, then they often want to eat what they've helped prepare. I can tell you that's true in our home. You can even get their help choosing recipes. If they pick out what they want to eat, again, they're more likely. Now, granted, all of these tips are dependent upon the age of your kids, and some of them can be involved in the earlier processes when they're younger, and some you can incorporate as they get older. When you get home from grocery shopping, take the kids with you to do the grocery shopping. And when you get home, do meal prep together. Let them stir or safe things in the kitchen. You know your kids' ability, so you can manage that, but incorporate their involvement in that, and it'll go a long way. The next thing is send your kids with healthy lunches. So when your kids go off to school, or when they go to church, or when they go to a friend's house, or whenever they're not in your presence, then you pack their meals. Because if you pack them, then you know what they're eating. Try to pack a lunch each day. Again, incorporate their involvement with that. Make it fun. Even at home when you do snack time, create fun snacks. And we'll look at a couple of those a little bit later on. Don't send your kids with money. You know, the schools nowadays have vending machines nearly in every hallway. And so if they have money in their pocket, guess what they're going to do with it? It's going to go in that vending machine, and they're going to end up eating the junk food, the sugary drinks, the non-nutritious snacks, because the schools are not carrying those things in those vending machines. Also, pack their yummy snacks, healthy snacks, and let them look forward to actually opening that lunchbox. Maybe you can cut your food, your fruit into fun shapes. Put a note in there. Encourage them. Tell them how proud you are. Make some fruit or veggie kebabs. Anything that makes meals fun is going to be a win for you, and it's going to encourage them to eat healthier. Here's some other ideas. Also, when you're packing their meals, minimize or even eliminate. These are the three big culprits in so many connections to health issues: processed sugars, gluten, and dairy. One of the SOSs is regarding dairy. So I won't get into the genetics of dairy for another day, but know that if you can swap your kids' cow milk for a nut milk or a coconut milk, then it will do wonders in helping a lot of those inflammatory responses that are going on in their body that lead to issues. The other thing, make eating healthy a game. So games are great, and kids love games. Heck, I even love games. You know, we have games that we've played with the kids in regard to eating around chewing. One of the ideas that I have heard has to do with if you make a casserole, see who can guess what is in it, and it starts to incorporate all of their senses with that eating process. So they're smelling, they're looking, they're tasting, and textures. So it's going to give them a great way to begin to focus in and heighten their senses on what they're eating. If your kids are learning about something particular in school, use food to help that learning process. Our son had a science project. Now he's in middle school now. He had a science project a couple of weeks ago, actually, about how to make a diagram or a model of a cell, which I loved because it's what I do, right? And he came up with a really creative way to use a pumpkin pie as kind of the base of that cell, and then he incorporated different things into it to identify or to represent the nucleus, the mitochondria, the ribosomes, all of those different things that he was learning about in the cell, he put in that pumpkin pie. Now, granted, he really just wanted to eat the pumpkin pie, but it's okay. Pumpkin pie is not as bad as some things, and it was fun. And so he was learning while he was learning about foods. Math, if they're learning easy math questions, you know, adding, subtracting, multiplying, use those foods in groups. And then after you've had a learning lesson, you get to eat it. So what a great win-win. The other thing I want to touch on is treats. So treats are treats, not staples. We have, as a society, we have become very accustomed to incorporating sweets as one of the 5 food groups, so to speak. Sweets are a treat. So offer them an occasional treat. You know, now we just had birthday celebrations, so there's some extra cake laying around. But other than that, I try to encourage, you know, desserts on Sunday. That's our treat day. That way it helps. I don't bring it into the house as much as I used to, because if it's here, we eat it. So if it's not here, we don't eat it. And so what you bring into the house impacts what they're going to eat. The other thing is we have moved to healthier choices of sweets. So I've picked up several recipes that are healthier sweet treats. And some of those I'll share with you in different classes that I offer. Fruit is a great way to offer that sweet treat that's not sugary laden processed sugars. So your child is learning those things. You are training their taste buds in what they want to eat. And if we help train their taste buds, then we are setting them up for success in the future as they become young adults and into adulthood. All right, the next thing we want to talk about is other habits. So we've spent a lot of time talking about nutrition and eating. So I want to just kind of add a couple other topics in here together. So colorful meals. There's some great research out there on eating the rainbow. And eating the rainbow is important because all of the colors that God has put in those different fruits and vegetables, the colors have corresponding micronutrients. And again, this is not the class for that. I would just encourage you to incorporate as many colors as you can. Now the colors don't mean M&Ms and they don't mean gummy bears. They mean, your red fruits, your green vegetables, orange, as much as you can. Add in a little bit of color with things that they already enjoy eating. So if you fix an omelet, add some red bell peppers or yellow bell peppers to incorporate some of those bright colors, or a little bit of spinach. It's green and you can't really taste it that much, especially if you chop it up really good. Aim for 2 to 3 colors per meal, and white is a color, but we prefer other brighter colors. There is some benefit to some white, like cauliflower, but most of the whites that end up on our plate are going to be in mashed potatoes, rice, and pasta. So find white fruits and vegetables. The next healthy living tip is exercise. So how can you incorporate more physical activity and less screen time? I've got a couple of blog posts that you'll see below this video, and they help you learn about screen time, how to screen the screen, and also how to have an active TV time. So what can you do? Maybe when there's a commercial, you get up and run around the living room for a few minutes. But encourage and promote regular physical activity. It has so many benefits for their brain health, for their muscle growth, for everything about them is healthy. There is nothing bad about exercise or movement, if you don't like that word exercise. Healthy eating habits. All right, so when we talk about healthy eating habits, eat when you're hungry. Eat until you're full. I like to use the 80-20 rule on the eating when hungry. If your kids aren't hungry when they get up in the morning, don't force breakfast. There's a lot of science and research around something called intermittent fasting. Again, not for this class. I have an entire class on intermittent fasting. But I ask the kids, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you? 1 meaning I can't eat for a month. 10 meaning I can eat an entire refrigerator full of food. Where is their scale? Help them learn to pay attention to those signs in their body. Eat enough. Eat until you're 80% full. It takes about 20 minutes for the message from our stomach to get to our brain to say, okay, I'm full. So eat enough food, and then eat right foods. What is right for you? Again, it talks about those colors in the rainbow. How do you incorporate as many colors as possible and change it up? Healthy eating also means eating strategically and not emotionally. We do not want to encourage emotional eating. So that means that don't use food as a reward for good behavior or good grades. Don't use food for emotional reasons. Oh, honey, I'm sorry you're sad today. Let's go get some ice cream. That encourages a behavior long-term of emotional eating, which is not what we want. And then prepare. Again, I have a whole separate class on meal prep and how to eat healthy better. Smoothies are good, preparing ahead, all good choices. Setting up good examples. You have to be healthy yourself. Our kids are watching us, and if we are not making good choices, then they won't make good choices. So how can you help them make better choices? And then other good habits, staying on top of vision, dental, taking care of yourself, self-care, laughing, having fun, moving, drinking your water. All of those are great, healthy living habits that need to be incorporated as a whole. And I know it's a lot, and if you're not doing some of these, pick one. Just pick one thing to work on, and then that's what you work on for the next week or 2 weeks or month, whatever it is. Healthy habits is a lifestyle. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Here's the last few tips on how to make eating fruits and veggies fun. So make designs, cut them into shapes, use cookie cutters, help them set up their fruit as a village, whatever. Let them play with their food. It's fun. Make kebabs, fruit kebabs, or vegetable kebabs. Put them in chunks. These are great things to send to school, although watch the skewers. They don't use them as weapons. You know, we don't pay attention to that. Serve them something yummy. So here's some tricks. If they find something that they like, right? Serve veggies with something that they like. So if your son loves grilled cheese sandwiches, see if you can stick some lettuce in there, or sprouts, whatever. Get some of that in there. If they like tomatoes, if they like zucchini, whatever, add a little something. Also, with anybody, we should try things. It takes about 5 to 7 times for us to try something before we decide if we like it. So if that's necessary in a family kind of rule around the table, we have something new, we all are trying something new. Because who knows? You might like it. And your taste buds are constantly changing about every 45 days. All right, so I know that has been a lot of information, and thanks for sticking around. The final couple of slides here is, are you ready to get started? So as I just mentioned, this is a journey. These are steps. Don't try to do a complete overhaul. That is setting yourself up for failure. My goal for you is to help you find one thing that you can start doing to incorporate it. If it's a swap, pick a swap and try it for a week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever is necessary for your family. If you want to drink more water, then shoot for a goal. If we drink more water today, and track it, have a contest. Now, obviously, with kids, you have to be a little careful because they are not going to be able, little ones, 2-year-olds, are not going to be able to drink 8 glasses of water like maybe a 12-year-old will, or an 18. So you gotta work around that. You know, maybe the younger kids' glasses are maybe a 2-ounce glass. So the kind of rule of thumb with water is 50% of your body weight should be what your intake is. And then remember, every single person is unique. So if you have health issues, but your spouse doesn't, or your kids do, but you don't, understand that God, as the designer of you, has made you unique. And so it's important that we find out what is your best next best step. I say that backwards. One choice and one day at a time. Start to support your cells, and your cells will take care of you. So these are, actually, let me move this again. So I want you to be able to see that QR code. So these are the classes that I offer. They are online classes. They make it really easy. Some of them are self-study. Some of them have group studies with them. So what I encourage you to do is, in the lower left-hand side of the screen, you see a number 1. Go to the App Store and download the app called Shuffle by Ellify, and that's what the icon looks like in the App Store. Then when you get that, on the right-hand side of the screen is a QR code. So your app will have in the upper right-hand corner a way for you to scan that QR code. When you scan it, that'll take you to a digital business card of mine that has ways that we can connect via Facebook. You'll have my phone number in there. You'll have my email, my website, some blog articles that help with healthy living. And I will continue to add to that to help you be your healthiest. So let me know how I can help you. I am here to support you wherever you are to take the next step to get wherever you want to be. And I thank you for your time today, and let me know how I can support you. This is Denise Krebs, and I am the DNA Detective, here to help support you in your most optimal, vibrant life. Have a great day.